Welcome back. There's a new controversy this morning surrounding embattled Congressman George Santos. That's a name we haven't said in a few weeks. This time, it involves a man who served as a paid campaign fundraiser for the New York State Republican. Samuel Mealy has been indicted on federal criminal charges related to his allegedly impersonating a top staffer to House Speaker Kevin McCarthy as he solicited donations for Santos. According to the six-page indictment, the 27-year-old raised money for Santos's campaign in 2020, which lost, and then 2022, which won. He was charged with 4 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of aggravated identity theft. Mealy did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Joining us now, special correspondent at Vanity Fair, host of the Fast Politics podcast, the wonderful Molly Jong-Fast. Her new piece is titled, "What Happened to Dealing with George Santos Quickly?" So, Molly, let me ask you, what happened to dealing with George Santos quickly?
They needed the votes. Kevin McCarthy needed the votes, so he just decided, when you have a 5-seat majority, you sort of sweep stuff under the rug. And I also think there's a larger problem that McCarthy has, which is if you start pulling people out of this Republican caucus because they've lied about things, where will it end?
Yeah, it would dwindle their numbers, I suppose. So, Molly, Santos, to your point, and a good one, is that he's representative of the issues McCarthy has because his margin there is so slim in the House. And there's a couple looming fights coming, right? The government shutdown. There's some talk today that maybe that can be avoided, at least temporarily, as well as Ukraine funding. This will be the first time that the White House is asking Congress for a big new package of money since the Republicans took over the House. Just give us your analysis as to how does McCarthy navigate all that? Does he have to bow to the hard right, even though public polling suggests most American people want the other way?
Yeah, I mean, he has made bowing to the hard right kind of his thing, McCarthy, and you've seen this again and again. I mean, he barely won the speakership, multiple votes, and, he's just not a vote whipper. He's almost like the opposite of Nancy Pelosi. He takes votes to the floor, and he doesn't necessarily win, and we've seen it again. Look, the hard right in this caucus wants to impeach Mayorkas. They want to impeach Biden. They want to impeach Merrick Garland. I mean, they have a wish list of impeachment, which is going to make them look terrible and is very likely going to alienate more mainstream voters and theoretically lose Republicans the House. I mean, what's so interesting when I was working on this piece was I was looking at these 5 Republicans, not just the 5 besides Santos, who won in New York State. And they all won by like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 votes. I mean, these are tiny, tiny margins. And you really see the Republicans don't really have these seats. And if you have a major election where you have a presidential on the ticket, I think it's going to be very hard for Republicans to keep the House.
Yeah, there's a sense that if Trump's atop the ticket for the GOP, those seats there, particularly in districts that President Biden won last time around, will be very hard for the Republicans to keep. And one more for you, Molly. Speaking of Trump, we know next week he's got to turn himself in at some point to authorities in Georgia. He has not committed one way or another whether he'd show up at that debate. The sense had been probably not. Recent days, the door has been opened a bit, it feels. Just curious, what do you think happens?
Well, so the theory of the case that I have heard from a number of people is that he's not going to show up at the debate, but he's going to show up and surrender on the same day as the debate and take all the oxygen out of the room. I mean, look, Donald Trump, it's his party now, right? Whatever he does, ultimately, he's going to, unless something huge happens, likely win the primary. But, he's just not growing the electorate. So I think that a lot of the Republican heavies are pretty worried about how they're going to run this guy again. And by the way, there's no evidence to support the idea that Trump will ever decide he wants to stop running for president. So good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. Always great to talk to you. Let's do it again soon. Special correspondent at Vanity Fair and the host of the Fast Politics podcast, Molly Jong-Fast. Thank you, my friend.